What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Fight Out podcast with me, El. So today I'm pretty excited about it because obviously it's the upcoming UFC London card that is next weekend at the time of recording, this weekend by the time I actually release it. So for us fight outs, we haven't got to stay up late this time. UK based fight fans, it's normal time. If you're down there like me, obviously we'll have a good time. If you're watching it at home, you can sit there normal time. You haven't got to keep your eyes open or nothing like that. And total transparency, I didn't really like the fight card when it very first got announced. The more I look at it, the more I can see what the UFC have done. It hasn't got like necessarily a banger main event and co-main event. I think the JDM versus Leon fight is a better fight than the Brady versus Leon fight. But if you look at the rest of the card, there's some very interesting matchups. They haven't really got stars anymore to throw at it. But without further ado, let's get into it. And as always, I'll start at the top of the card and make a prediction. Prediction on each fight. Obviously, if you just want to follow me in and win some money, just I'll send you my bank details. So you can do it for me as well. But yeah, getting into it. Just before we dive in as well, if you can remember to like, comment, subscribe. And we've got some UFC fighter interviews coming up. We've got a few things that we've been working on. Have just taken a little bit longer to get going than we would have liked. But let's get into the card. So obviously Leon against Brady. Now initially, obviously it was JDM. Leon against Brady, in my opinion, is a much tougher fight for Leon than JDM was. And I'm not saying that Sean Brady is necessarily better than JDM, just stylistically. Obviously, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to work out. Sean Brady is a lot more grappling heavy. JDM was an out-and-out striker, and I think we would have got a striker match between Leon and JDM. And to be honest, I think Leon's superior in that. Sean Brady is a tough one. I like every fight that I watch him, I always think, oh, he's just a nightmare matchup. Like he's relentless, he's grapple heavy, he can strike as well, and he's a bit of an odd like size and shape. He's like obviously he's very broad, but he's also quite small when you see him against other fighters. But I think sometimes he's almost awkward to hit because of that. And obviously Leon's long and rangy. When you see him against kind of smaller fighters, he does sometimes struggle a little bit, especially when they grapple heavy, obviously. And I think you might see some issues here. Leon's an underdog. I'm gonna get the odds up. I've already picked my predictions, but then I've had a look at the odds to kind of get them together. And Leon is an underdog going into this fight, which for me is just value for money. Everything that I've just said there about Sean Brady's this, Leon's long and rangy, blah blah blah. I think Leon in London coming off the loss, which can go either way. You don't know how hungry he is, stuff like that. But I just think he's saying all the right stuff for me at the minute. And him coming off that loss, coming back to London, getting a fight that he's obviously the main event for. Let's be honest, he's carrying the card. He couldn't take him off the card to fight Bilal and Montreal with a rematch. He took JDM off the card. I think all of it's just lighting a fire under him. And I think Leon will get the job done. I'll be honest, I do think it's going to be a decision, so it's going to be a long night for us still, but it's not as late as usual. But Leon at the minute is 6-5. So, above evens, quite nice odds. If you fancy a finish, he's even better odds. Personally, I fancy a decision, and that's what I'm kind of, going to go with for that. Now, don't want to bang on too much about Leon because there's quite a few fights on the card that I do want to talk about. But I think this is going to be very, very telling of where he's at in his career. If the unthinkable does happen, as a UK fight fan and Leon gets beat, I really don't know where that leaves him. Financially, the kid's set anyway, to be honest. So is he going to carry on? I don't know. I'm not trying to retire him because I feel like we are quite fickle as MMA fans. It's like one loss and it's like, oh, he's done this and that. But I think it leaves me in a weird spot here if he does get beat. Now, moving into the co-main, obviously Jan Blachowicz against Carlos Ulberg. Carlos Ulberg is just impressive, isn't he? Like he's I seen someone breaking it down, I can't remember who it was, and they were like, he's been knocked out in the past, like actually KO'd, which you can't always say that about a fighter, fighters get TKO'd and stuff like that. And they were like, Jan, despite everything that's going on, he is still powerful. You don't lose your power. And while I understand that, looking at this fight, I feel like the odds have got it spot on. Jan Blachowicz is 7-4 and Carlos Ulberg is 2-5. So, it is wide. Jan hasn't fought for what? 2 years, nearly 18 months, something like that, coming off an injury. Even before that, he didn't really have an impressive fight. He had the fight with Ankalaev, the current champion. That was a draw. But again, I think that was 3 years ago, maybe. He had the fight against Rakic. That was a little bit of a weird one. Rakic got hurt, so Jan won, but he didn't quite win, stuff like that. Before that, I mean, you're going back to Israel Adesanya, was his last big win, really. His last proper big win was Israel Adesanya. He's not the most exciting fighter despite his power, to be honest. But he's also had a layoff on top of that. Carlos Ulberg's been active. Carlos Ulberg's got a winning streak together. Carlos Ulberg is much younger. Even though he's in his 30s himself, Jan's 40-something. And, obviously, Father Time will come knocking for us all. I just think it's a younger man against an Asian fighter that hasn't really had a big win. And obviously, look, if Jan wins this, he's right in that title picture. But I think it's a big ask to win. I'm going to go Carlos Ulberg, and I'm actually going to go Carlos Ulberg by finish, which at the minute isn't showing odds, but that's what I'm going to do. Moving into the next fight, it's loudmouth, as Dana calls him, Kevin Holland against Gunnar Nelson. Now, Kevin Holland, I remember on the last one when he got beat, and I think I spent about 10 minutes talking about on his day, Kevin Holland's brilliant. He just needs to put it all together. And I really did think he was going to win that last fight. He didn't put it together. He didn't even look like he trained, to be honest. And I'm not saying that as a knock on him. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. He just didn't look anywhere close in there. Do you know what I mean? He was just not on it that night, kind of thing. Gunnar Nelson, however, for me though, I feel like he's been around forever. Doesn't fight very often when Kevin Holland does. Even at times when he's not turning up. I think this is a very winnable fight for Holland. Which I know I said last time, and people might say that to me, but yeah, I do think it is a very winnable fight. Not sure what happened there with the video. I just had to reconnect the camera. Apologies, but yeah, as I was saying, I think this is a very, very winnable fight for Kevin Holland. Gunnar Nelson, I'm trying to see his method to victory. Obviously, it's taking him down and submitting him, which Holland's been susceptible to in the past. But I can see Kevin getting the job done, and Kevin's actually the underdog going into this. Kevin's 11-10, Gunnar Nelson is 8-11, and obviously that's based off of winning streaks and stuff like that. But I just think there's some nice underdog odds on this card for you to have a few builders. Moving into the next fight, I haven't seen a lot of talk about this, which is interesting. Molly McCann coming back. Again, Molly is actually the underdog, which I would kind of expect. But it's quite wide. It's 6-4 to 8-15 for Alexia Fenara. I mean, I'm a little bit half overhead with this one. I do think, I want a nostalgic win for Molly. Don't know where she's at in her career again. She's, probably Stefan Anthony and stuff like that. Obviously she's from the same city as me, but even outside of that, I just think again it's a winnable fight for her. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying, the card's not necessarily a superstar card, but the matchups are very interesting. Gunnar Nelson, Kevin Holland, let's be honest, who knows what way that one's going to go? You get an inkling, but you don't know. Jan Blachowicz against Carlos Ulberg, I think someone's going to sleep in that, and obviously I think it's Carlos Ulberg quite convincingly that's going to win. Leon Edwards against Sean Brady, again, it's a very interesting matchup. I can't necessarily see a finish, but who knows? Even if it's a 5-round decision, I can't really see that fight being boring, to be honest. And Molly McCann at Alexia Fenara is a similar kind of thing. Molly McCann at 6-4 is very, very tempting, especially when, we've got several on at the minute, and nearly at 6-1 with Leon, Kevin Holland, and Carlos Ulberg. Molly McCann, home crowd, I think she might just edge this one out and get it done. If she can find the kind of the power that she used to be able to find, I think she can get it done, and the odds are very, very nice for it. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the Molly McCann one further because, like I said, it's kind of like a toss-up. Jordan Vucenic and Chris Duncan is the fight before it. Now, if you've seen our interview with Chris Duncan, you'll know, look, he's a friend of the podcast. It's no secret what a guy he is, the soundest person in the world kind of thing. He is, again, a massive underdog. And Jordan Vucenic looked good. He looked good in that fight against Guram. And at that time, I had Guram to win. I think Guram did win, but it was a very, very close fight. And he's looked good. He's looked really good. Chris Duncan's on a resurgence though since the one loss in the UFC. No, he got the first round finish in Paddock. Massive win for him. I think he's one massive win away from like a good level matchup that might get him into that, top 15, touching that, which he deserves. Regardless of if he's a friend of the pod or not, I'm only going off gut instinct and just how I feel fights will play out. And again, I can see Chris Duncan getting it done, and he's 11-4. So if you have Molly and Chris to this accumulator, you've got a 60-1 accumulator for 5 fights. Now, look, people might agree, people might say, okay, Alexia Tanara instead of Molly, you're still at 36-1. You know what I mean? So there's definitely money to be won on this card. There's gonna be some upsets. There's too many underdogs that in close fights, quite big underdogs that I can see getting the job done. And I'm going Chris Duncan in this. I think he's going to be back in a big way. I'll make sure you're going to be speaking to him again as well. So remember to like and subscribe so you can see when that interview drops as well. But yeah, I'm saying Chris is getting the job done here, but he's in for a tough night because Jordan Buchanan is really good. It's England against Scotland, and as an Englishman, I'm going to go with a Scotsman. So let me know in the comments if you agree with me on that one. And then obviously kicking off the main card is Nathaniel Wood against Shararay. Now I've seen a million people say his name in different ways. I'm going with Shararay for the sake of this. And there's nothing worse than when you watch these videos and someone is pronouncing a name wrong. And believe me, I always think, well, do your research, see how they say the name actually first before it. I've checked, and I can't see an interview of him saying his name. I can just see other people saying it in different ways. And yeah, I'm rolling the dice and going Shararay. Nathaniel Wood, this is a banger. This is a banger of a fight. Styles made fights. Nathan can bring it. Shararay can bring it. He's got a mad record, and he's kind of like a win one, lose one Shararay, but he could beat anybody on any given night kind of thing because of his style, and his style is exciting. Nathaniel Wood, it was, we had title aspirations at one point. I'm not sure. It's been around a while now. I should have checked actually before this how old he is. He's definitely in his 30s now, so he needs a big win here. And he's kicking off the main card in London. He's an underdog. He's a 6-4 dog. Call me nostalgic, whatever. I'm going with Nathaniel Wood on this, which brings a six-fold accumulator at 150-1. I've seen 10-1 six-folds not coming in the UFC. 150-1 is crazy odds. And I'm obviously backing a couple of English ones on there. Chris Duncan, a Scotsman. And I'm backing a few dogs, not on purpose, by the way, just gut instincts when I've seen the fights. They could all flip the other way, literally every single fight that I've just said. I can see it going, I can see Sean Brady turning over Leon Edwards. Jan Blachowicz, I can't see, I'll be honest. I cannot see anything but a Carlos Ulberg win there. Gunnar Nelson, I can see him subbing Kevin Holland if the same Kevin Holland turned up that did last time. Unfortunately, I can see Molly getting beat. Chris is in a dogfight, if you ask me, so they can always go either way. And Nathaniel Wood could get beat by Shararay. So every single fight that I've just said, literally, I'm not going to argue with you if you say, look, it's going to go the other way. But the odds are 150-1 on that on some underdogs is absolutely insane. And then moving into the prelims, we've got some really good fights. Gorham's on there. We've got Sean O'Bannon again. Nathan Fletcher against Carlin O'Loughlin. Obviously, Paddy called him Major Chip Hazard. I kind of stuff what an absolute shout that was, by the way. No disrespect to Carlin. But I think even he'd admit he's been absolutely nailed by that shout. What a fight that is. I like the look of this Nathan Fletcher. I'm not going to pretend I've seen loads of him. I only know him because realistically he come through next gen. Otherwise, I might not have even been aware of who he was, realistically. His story and the Ultimate Fighter breaking his leg, coming back, coming into the UFC, getting a win. And now he's got this fight, which is quite big because of how Paddy and Carlin were going back and forth. I really like the look of Nathan Fletcher, and I've got him to get the job done here. Christian Lido Duncan's back, Martin Tybora against Mick Parkin. That's a stone, that's a toss-up as well. Tybora, former adversary of Tom Aspinall, Mick Parkin, obviously training partner of Tom Aspinall. Tom beat Tybora convincingly. I'd like to see Mick Parkin get the job done as well. Jai Herbert against Chris Padilla. There's some banger fights on the prelims, banger fights on the main card. Not a superstar filled card, don't get me wrong, but one I think we'll all enjoy. So let's fight out. It's on our time. Let's let us know your predictions in the comments down below. I've gone with a lot of dogs there. I'm expecting some stick in the comments saying, you're chatting nonsense. And I'm expecting a lot of stick in the comments just saying I'm talking nonsense, backing Molly, backing other people and stuff like that. So let me have it. Let's have a little chat. Let's see if we can get any winning accumulators up. I reckon I've got the winning source, like, but we'll see. So thanks everyone for watching. If you've got this far into the video, like I said, we've got a lot coming. Appreciate everyone that does watch just while we're, building this up. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a good weekend.